Alrighty, well, welcome to an early spring day here at Goat Hill Park. I'm Casey Lux, joined again by Blair Bremley, as we have the visiting Lakeville North Panthers traveling over to the Swato field of Goat Hill Park to take on the Eagan Wildcats. Blair, how are we doing today?
Very well, thanks. Good to be back with you.
Absolutely. So, a few things to take of note here early on in today's contest is we kind of have a matchup of who's going to take their first loss in about a week. One thing that we've noticed is Eagan is obviously a hot team. They're second right now in the South Suburban Conference, and they're on a 4-game winning streak. And those wins came against last week Farmington 2-1, at Burnsville 5-3 win, a non-conference win on Saturday 6-5 over Bloomington Jefferson, and then they beat Lakeville South here 3-2 on Monday. And then bringing on the visiting Panthers, they're on a 3-game winning streak. They come in today's contest 5-5 in the conference, whereas Eagan is 8-2. So this should be a fun little game of two teams that are hot with a lot of confidence. Wouldn't you say, Blair?
Well, clearly, Eagan has separated itself along with Farmington as the class of the South Suburban so far this season. The last time we got these two teams together, we were in Lakeville North, and it was warm and sunny, and we're definitely not seeing that today. We're going to be dodging raindrops all day. But, clearly, with Eagan second in the conference and Lakeville North tied for fourth, there's a lot that both of these teams have to play for. We're a little bit more than halfway through the season, and there's a lot of baseball to go, but you still have to continue those hot streaks if you're going to get in prime position come playoff time. Yeah,
absolutely. So an interesting fact, like you said, was that both you and I were on the call for that game at Lakeville. That was back on, I think it was April 22nd. It was a Thursday. A nice sunny day. But the interesting thing that we'll see today is that Eagan is they're staying with their rotation. They're staying with the guy that's next in the rotation, per se, and that'll be Lincoln Berry. And Lincoln Berry was the one that faced Lakeville North the last time around. And I wouldn't say he necessarily struggled, but Lakeville North did put up 3 in that first inning. And then after that, Berry did a nice job of obviously slowing it down, getting those first pitch strikes. Didn't have as many strikeouts that day as Baker did for Lakeville North, but threw a heck of a game on his end.
Yeah, he did have a little bit of a slow start, but brought things along really nicely as the game wore on. And he's been really, really good for Eagan all season long. That's why he's going to continue to stay in the spot in the rotation, even though Lakeville North has seen him before. There's a confidence there that he'll continue to do well and be able to handle those guys, in spite of the fact that they've got a little bit of an idea coming in of what he can do and what they're going to likely see.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing that we mentioned even back on the 22nd, but now that I've been around for a lot of these games, whether it be Eagan TV or even just doing the PA work, it's just been really impressed with the senior season that Lincoln Berry's been having, leading the team in triples, has a home run on the season, but it's really turned himself into a nice pitcher too. So interesting, always interesting with the conditions. As we see Recchio take a swing on the second fastball, it's an 0-2 count. But they're young, right? They're young. They got warm blood. They're hot-blooded, right? Like a song.
Probably going to affect them a lot less than it's going to affect us.
So the slow roller is hit to Huseman and is not going to have time as he wasn't able to come up with it cleanly. So one thing I'll remind everybody is that I'm doing double duty, so Blair will try to talk over me so you're not hearing my voice too often here today.
Well, Tyler Wambacher, if I recall, had a really nice game when these two got together before, and he's a really, really stalwart presence behind the plate as well.
Off speed, first strike on the outside corner. One thing I think we'll be watching here today, Blair, is I would like to believe that batters need to be ready to swing as umps are going to be ready to call strikes. And I think in a game like this, when both teams want to get it in, umps want to get it in, we don't want to have a long delay. I think anything close, probably within 3-4 inches, up, down, left, right, you better be swinging.
Strike zone may be a little bit different today. Maybe a little bit bigger, as you point out.
As Recchio takes off, the second pitch, and that throw is going to be late. And speaking of Recchio, I wanted to see where he sits here on the season with stolen bases. Picked a good pitch, though. That was on an off-speed pitch. And now we're sitting on an 0-2 count. So, yep, okay. Coach Butler was just getting verification that it was a strike there. So 0-2 count to Wambacher. Recchio got on first on that error and just kind of a little slippery balls. We see Wambacher pop one up. going to stay in the deck here, and Mason Amon makes the play. So 1 down.
Yeah, very much like the field at Lakeville North. A lot of foul ground here at Goat Hill Park. It's serving as the home field for the Wildcats, while their actual home field over by the high school is undergoing some renovation. Yeah, Recchio had a good game as well the first go around. But one thing I've noticed already, Lincoln Berry is getting ahead of hitters. He's throwing strikes early in the count, which is a little bit different than the early going in the last game between these two.
Absolutely. And as you know too, that's the beauty of having a senior on the mound. It's an ugly weather day. I wouldn't say it was a completely routine ball hit to third, but a play that you're hoping your third baseman makes. But it's not going to get him razzled here early on. Recchio, that was his 6th stolen base on the season, so he's 6 for 6. As we see that second strike in to Manning. So I think, if I'm counting correctly, I think it's about 7 out of 8 pitches so far for strikes by Barry.
He has been hitting the zone very consistently in the early going, yes.
Manning on the season hitting .267. As we see a nice little off-speed pitch by Barry in the outside corner.
So in the hole a little bit here, and Barry is throwing a variety of pitches. He's coming in with fastballs and off speed and moving them around, so it's going to be hard for him to figure out what might be coming next.
So 1-2's our count here in the top of the first inning at Goat Hill Park. Casey Lux and Blair Bremley, Lakeville North traveling across the cities here to take on Eagan, and both teams are hot. So we're going to see who can prevail here today. Outside fastball, a little low on the outside corner, so now we're sitting at 2-2. Manning at the plate, hitting .267, as we said. 476 OBP. If you're charting stats at home, Blair, we're not going to get into the launch rate and launch angle yet. There's a curveball on the outside corner for a strike, so Barry does his job and retires Manning.
So now we got 2 outs, and we're going to have the cleanup hitter coming up for Lakeville North here.
Arnton forced in the cleanup spot here today, and he comes into today's game as we're waiting for Barry's first delivery. .229 on the season for his average. Another good curveball for a strike right away by Barry. So obviously he's got a lot of confidence being able to throw that off speed early and often. And I guess the hands are staying dry enough to obviously get a good grip on that curveball.
Nice hold by the batter on that pitch. That was a tough one to take.
As he just misses. Recchio, the sophomore shortstop, on second, reached on a 0-2, kind of a check swing to third. That was bobbled by Huseman, and then stole his 6th base of the season. There's the fastball down the middle, swung on and missed. So 1-2's our count. 2 down here, top of the first at Goat Hill Park. What do we think the temp is? I forgot to check the temp, or to say what the time of our first pitch.
The temp is not high enough.
Barry not afraid to come inside with that low fastball. Misses. 2-2's our count here. 2 down, top of the first inning. Lakeville North at Eagan Wildcats. And this is kind of like we said, their Suedo field, their second home. Popped up.
Catch that!
Huseman's got a bead. Looks like Martin's going to call him off and doesn't come through with it.
That is a tough play to make behind third base there, and Martin had a good angle on it and came over and did call off his third baseman, but between the rain falling and a little breeze here and there, bringing that one in just wasn't meant to be that time around.
So Barry on the season, this will be his 4th start. He's 3-0, 10 hits. Says 14 strikeouts on the season and a 3.5 ERA. 2-2 delivery with 2 outs. Ripped on to right by Arndt. Chapman's got a beat on it, makes the catch for the last out of the inning. So for Lakeville in the top of the first, no runs on no hits. There was the 1 error and 1 left on, and we'll be back in about 60 seconds for the bottom of the first inning.
They look so cute. Which way? Nice job.
Alrighty, so we got Calder pitching to Wambacher today, and the leadoff hitter is going to be your left fielder, Alex Lockenmeyer. First pitch by Calder at the knees for a strike. Back-to-back games that Eagan's seen some height on the mound. I was mentioning to you before the game that Lakeville South threw an excellent pitcher, Justin Lohr, that's going to Xavier. And there's a curveball that misses. And he was about 6'7", 6'8", lefty, and he's going to Xavier. And North brings in their big man to lead off here today, Calder.
Yeah, long lead senior, wearing number 23. This is not the pitcher that we saw the first time around when these two teams met down in Lakeville North. Sam Baker had a really nice outing for the Panthers, and now we're going to see what Sam Calder can do.
I'll tell you what, if they keep producing people this tall because of that water down in Lakeville, I think people are going to kekeep flooding that area and moving it even more than they have been. Because they have
good news
quite
for
a
the
bit of height.
basketball program, right?
Yeah, exactly. The Makura, J.P. Makura, that went to Xavier as well. So there's a connection, and Xavier's actually getting a center fielder from Farmington, Hendrickson. So that misses low. 3-2s are, no, excuse me, 3-2s are count, unless it might be 3-1 actually. Trying to see what we got for Calder's stats here for this season, because we can mix those in as the game goes on here. 3-2 is our count. Little half check swing. That's fielded by Haugen and gets it over to Manning for the first out of the inning.
The first baseman, number 5, Mason Amon.
So Mason Amon comes into the game hitting .276 for the season. Left-hander. And I believe he played a different position when we had these guys before. Shortstop, perhaps?
Second base.
Second base, all right.
So that's the story was, we'll get to that in a second. First delivery from Calder's misses on a curveball low. Having a hard time getting that grip on the curveball, and it could be a little sloppy in the mound, too. That could be an issue. Probably the grounds crew, it's the one-man grounds crew will be plenty busy today. Amon is the normal second baseman. You are correct, Blair. Charlie Harms was the hottest hitting guy on the team. I think he was 8 for his last 8. As we see Caldwell's fastball misses outside. Charlie Harms was 8 for his last 8, maybe 9 for his last 9. The last inning of the 7th against Grand Rapids on Saturday on Senior Day, and he went back. He was just throwing grounders, fastball in misses. He was just, in between innings, right, throwing grounders, and I think he stepped back to touch the base, twisted his ankle.
Oh, goodness.
So he's been out now for a little over a week, but they're hoping maybe to get him back towards the end of this week or early next week. Fastball in there for a strike by Calder. 2-1s are count here in the bottom of the first with 1 down, as Calder was able to retire the leadoff hitting Lockenmeyer on a little check swing, a little excuse me hit to second. Fastball misses, and Amon is going to get on first base with a walk.
So with the base runner now on first, we got Liam Martin coming up. Martin is hitting very, very well this season. 344 is his average coming in. He's looking down to the third base coaching box to get some signs. I'm sure that Mason has as well. We'll see if we're going to get guys moving on the bases early.
Absolutely. Eagan loves to run, so we have a good chance that we'll see Amon. For the most part, a lot of these guys in their team get good leads, get good jumps. And they just like to, basically make teams react, right? Whether it be double steals, whether it be delayed steals. Calder on the season, this will be his 4th game. He's 2-1 on the season, 17 innings pitched. There we see that. And then we see a base hit past the diving Recchio as well as Long. So they put Amon in motion. Doesn't necessarily open up a hole, but it does get him over to second.
And it looked like Recchio may have actually broken towards second base on that play when Amon took off, and that opened up the hole a little bit more to let that ground ball sneak through into left field. And now we've got 2 on with 1 out, and the cleanup hitter coming up, Lincoln Berry.
Absolutely. As we mentioned, Calder has 17 innings pitched on the season and a 3.29 ERA. Fastball in the outside corner is in there for a strike. Barry is, their most consistent hitter, and has also kind of been not necessarily like the wheels side of things, but leads the team in triples and just consistently finds gaps, shops at the gaps, as the kids would say, and finds himself on third base. He gets out of the box quick. That's a big one. He's not watching it.
If you look at the stat lines, both offensively and defensively, he's just playing a really, really solid all-around game this season.
Absolutely. Calder's pitch, and we see that fouled off to the right side. So 0-2's the count here. with 1 out. We got Amon on second. He reached on a walk. Liam Martin, the shortstop, on first. He reached on a single. Bottom of the first here at Goat Park. Casey Lux and Blair Bremley. And so far we've kept the drizzle away, Blair. So we're just gonna keep doing that.
Whoever out there is doing the non-rain dance, keep it up.
Exactly. Barry lines one into right field for a base hit, and that's going to bring Amon around the bases. It's going to send Martin over to third. The relay home is not going to be in time, and Barry's smart base running takes him to second. So the pitcher helps his own cause with an RBI double to right field.
Yeah, he absolutely smoked that ball down the first base line, just out of reach of the first baseman. Really, really nice piece of hitting going the other way there. And he ends up on second base, and we have a run scored for Eagan, and they're up 1-0 here in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, and you know, one thing too, Blair, and you know this from playing college ball too, is sometimes with 2 strikes, you just want to just have nice, easy control and square up the pitch, right? Calder had a good spot. Barry was battling him. It was 0-2. Kept fouling him off, and didn't really overpower his swing there. Just took a nice, easy swing with the line drive right over the first baseman's head. 1-0's our count to Chapman as Calder misses inside. So 2-0's our count, 1 out here. Liam Martin on third as he reached on a single. Lincoln Berry on first as he reached with a RBI double to score Amon here in the bottom of the first. Eagan up 1-0. Ball hit hard to third. We might have a play at home. No, we're not. Long to first in time. Gets it over to Manning, but that does score Martin. So Chapman does his job as Long had a hard time corralling that on the first bounce.
The second baseman.
Yeah, a pretty hard hit ball. One that he might be able to handle cleanly some of the time, but he made the smart play once he bobbled it. He knew he needed to get the out, and so he went straight to first base rather than looking home.
Yeah. Well, and as you know too, Blair, as you watch the first pitch, Calder's high to Ryder with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning. 2 up is Eagan on Lakeville North. You know, it's hard not to peek at home, right? I mean, the ball's hit. You know that's where you want to go. Just like when you watch guys up the middle on a double play ball, right? You see them kind of turning their body right before the ball even gets to them. It's just a natural instinct as you see a big swing by Griffin Ryder, the second baseman here today.
Well, it's one of those things that you're taught from early on up, right? You always want to try to cut down the lead runner if you can, especially if he's about to score. But that was the smart play, going to first base on that one.
Nice pitch by Calder. Throws a changeup on the outside corner for a strike. 1-2's our count here. 2 down here in the bottom of the first inning. Eagan Wildcats up 2-0 on the traveling Lakeville North Panthers. Calder's trying to kind of keep the damage at bay as he hits another nice pitch in the outside corner. So he's able to freeze Ryder in the outside corner for strike 3. Gets out of the inning with the two runs. For Eagan, though, they get 2 runs on 2 hits. 1 left on, 1 air. We ourselves at 2-0 lead as we take 60 seconds for a break and come back for the top of the second. Already got a little bit of gust of wind. We knocked some of that water off that canopy. So we got Josh Haugen, the second baseman, now leading off here in the top of the second.
Can keep us on our toes here.
I was curious to see if they're going to give Lincoln Berry a couple extra pitches in between innings. Esther, he had a little bit of a long inning out there, but first delivery is a curveball in the outside corner for a strike.
So, you know, these two pitchers in the first inning, both of them were around the plate an awful lot. Berry was just a little bit closer and a little bit more effective on his attempts, on his offerings.
There we go. Huseman with the grounder, the relay in time to Amon.
So 5-3 on the play, and now we have the DH for Lakeville North coming up. Alex Bayless. And I'll scramble around for some
stats.
On
we're
Alex
doing a lot
real
of scrambling
quick.
Today. Bayless takes that first pitch offering. It's going to be hit out to right center. Chapman's got a beat on it, makes the play.
One pitch, one out. That's the way you like to do it if you're Lincoln Berry.
The third baseman, number 21, Garrett Long.
So Garrett Long will step in.
So now I'm ready.
Three pitches play.
Yeah, 3 pitches so far this inning. Garrett is batting .367 on the season. He's doing a nice job for the Panthers.
Looks like Garrett does a little bit of relief pitching too. I think looks like, ooh, wow, we get to see the old spinner. The old spinners, the old rubber band man one right there. As that one started in foul play, rolls back into fair territory. Berry gets out of that inning on 5 pitches. So for Lakeville North, here in the top of the second, no runs on no hits, no errors, and nobody left on, and a super, super efficient inning by the senior Lincoln Berry.
Yep,
and now we're going to get it passed over to your favorite summertime job. There it is. There it is.
Yep.
If you need a fun summer job, Eagan's Cascade Bay is hiring. Serve your community, make friends, earn some money, and help create summer fun for everyone. Lifeguards, pool attendants, guest attendants, and ground attendants are some of the positions that are open. For more information on how to apply, dive into the website at cascadebay.com.
Yeah, I see what they did there. Dive into the website. That's
yeah,
good.
You got that. You got that. Also, I want to give a quick one, too. If you're enjoying ETV, make sure to follow them on Twitter, Facebook, and subscribe on YouTube. Visit Eagan-TV.com. And like we said, you're seeing here on your screen, Twitter, Facebook, and you can also subscribe on YouTube. And that's who's doing an excellent job of providing you the audio as well as the lovely camera crew that we have working out here in the conditions, right, Blair?
Yeah, guys are doing a nice job, as they always do.
As they always do.
Appreciate having them out here to help us out. Gives us people an opportunity to see games if they can't be here or if they don't want to be.
Hey, nobody doesn't want to be here. Don't say that, Blair. Come on.
Only because of the conditions.
There's no
Nothing
parents
else.
that do not want to be here.
Only because of the
that
conditions.
That sounds nonsense to me. All righty.
The catcher, number 7, Charlie.
So we have 7, 8, and 9 coming up for Eagan here in the bottom of the second. Charlie Steffen is going to get us started here.
Yeah, Charlie, perfectly on time there, Blair. Charlie 7 for 30 on the season. 7 for 30 on the season. 1 double, and he did, as we talked about, he had that big home run. That was the game-winning home run at Shakopee. Daniel Biancamano threw a beauty of a gem of a game, 7-inning shutout, and Steffen was the one that came through with the home run after he saw that first pitch ball from Calder. Swings at the second offering, popped up, and this looks like it's going to be first baseman Manny's got plenty of room, and the lefty makes the play.
The third baseman, number 11, Will Huseman.
So the left-handed swinging third baseman. So he fields with his right hand, comes around and bats lefty. Combination you see every once in a while, but not too often.
Yeah, so to kind of fill you in on Huseman, because I know you didn't see him play that game against Lakeville North as Calder hits a nice fastball in the outside corner. So with the injury to Harms at first, that kind of rotated a little bit of everybody. That then put Mason Amon at first when Harms got injured. And then there's been some kind of moving around, and then Huseman's now been kind of taking over that third base position as a sophomore. So I believe the Grand Rapids game was his first game on varsity, and he's pretty much has been there the whole way, even though obviously Barry can play some third if needed too.
Well, in what limited time he's had, he's hitting 250.
Fouls that one off his foot. So 0-2's the count as Calder's up here early. The battery here today again is Calder and Wambacher. Wambacher, we both complimented him. We thought he called an excellent game, as well as just was a big target behind the plate and did a nice job of keeping the ball in front of him as well.
Yeah, he had to work. He had to work pretty hard in that first game that we had. But he did a really nice job keeping balls in front, as you said.
Fastball in the inside corner gets him, and Calder strikes him out. And that's actually going to only be 2 outs here.
He's anxious to get back in the dugout, but not quite yet.
Fielder number 3, George Anderson.
I like the enthusiasm. I've done it before too. I like the enthusiasm.
We all have.
He's ready to get back in the dugout.
I want to go hit, Coach.
Yeah, exactly. So the speedster, George Anderson, I believe he's a sophomore as well, steps in. And what I've noticed, calling some of these games here lately is, just trying to kind of work in that drag bunt here and there. So probably picking and choosing depending on where the third baseman's lined up against him. Calder's fastball is low, so 2-0 is our count. 2-0's our score here in the bottom of the second here at Goat Hill Park. Offering to Anderson is up and in.
Yeah, if he's got the speed that you advertise that he's got, center field is a good place for him to be playing defense. Let's see if we can get him on the bases and cause a little trouble for the visiting Panthers.
Absolutely. There's a fastball down the middle on the get over strike on 3-0. Anderson with 2 stolen bases, 2 for 2 on the season. So obviously you might see either a straight steal or maybe a hit and run if he does get on. Calder's fastball is just misses high and inside, so that's going to flip over to the top of the lineup.
The left fielder number 8, Alex Lockenmeyer.
One of the rules of baseball, if you're a pitcher, don't walk the number 9 hitter, and that's what we've got here. And so with 2 outs, we at the top of the order back up here, and now there's some opportunity where there might not have been some otherwise.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and as you know too, a lot of times as we see Calder hit that low strike on the knees, a lot of times you have speed down on the the 8-9 hitters, right? Mm-hmm. So because you want to be able to have that speed on for when you're able to flip that lineup over to the top.
Get a guy who can hit the gap.
There goes Anderson. Quick throw by Wambacher and a heck of a dig by Recchio. The quick delivery by Wambacher and then the great dig by Recchio to get Anderson at second. So for Eagan in the bottom of the second, no runs on no hits and nobody left on. And after 2 complete, we have Eagan 2 and Lakeville North 0. We'll be back in 60 seconds for the top of the 3rd inning. Alrighty, top of the 3rd here at Goat Hill Park after we watched a wonderful play by the old catcher-shortstop combo as that curveball misses low and in. Quick release by Wambacher as we were talking in between the break, and it's just an excellent dig by soft hands, soft mitts they like to say, by Recchio at short.
It's a pretty throw. It was right where it needed to be. It was well received, and the tag was applied really quickly, and yeah.
I mean, it's kind of what you want, Blair, right? All in one motion,
yep.
Right? So you see that fastball swung on a miss. 1-2's our count here in the top of the 3rd. But yeah, all in one motion, right? The quick dig by Recchio, and he actually let it travel. That's what they always say. Let it travel, and then all in one motion, swept tagged George Anderson. The first time that George, the center fielder, has been thrown out this season. 1-2 is our count here, top of the third. Nolan Johnson at the plate. Swings on the first offering, slow ground ball, and actually Barry's going to get over, do the old PFT practice for the first out of the inning.
Yep, always from little on up, you're taught if you're pitching and the ball's hit on the ground to the left of you, you need to get over there so you've got the opportunity to cover first and make that play. No sense not being there.
Yeah.
No sense leaving that guy any chance to get on base and cause you some trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. No, coaches that I've had have always said you just get in the habit of every time you see the ball, even if it's hitting the second baseman, you get in the habit of hopping off the mound, starting to get your footwork ready, and sometimes you can actually be the backup to beat the catcher down if it is, the second baseman's ball. I will say though, if it's a grounder right at the first baseman, I like to see the hand come up and just let him, because you know what, sometimes that underhand toss, can get stuck in your hand.
Yep.
It can get up, it could be, like a change up where it goes up high. So, but you know what? They showed Coach Butler that they've been working on that plenty in the offseason. So 1-1's our count here to the center fielder.
That is straight up. See if he's got room.
Straight up. Chuck Steffen, and just misses it. Pops out of his glove. We got Brodeen here at the plate. So as he gets second life of the 1-2 count, the number 9 hitter. Recchio, the shortstop, on deck.
Yeah, he had 2 chances at that. Got it with his glove, popped out, almost pulled it in with his bare hand as well.
Yeah. And the tough part is you're up against that fence, you know what I mean? And I guess catchers and outfielders are the two that probably can handle the fence the best. But, and it's a little slippery too. I mean, there's a lot of different things as to, we're not going to overly judge, drop foul balls here today.
I mean, on a foul play like that, it's usually the catcher who's telling guys if they've got room or not.
Yes,
when he's the
correct.
one who's trying to find the fence.
Yeah.
Sometimes perhaps his teammates forget that nobody's doing that job.
Well, and he was the only one to make that play. The ball, it wasn't hit high enough for Barry or for Huseman to get it.
No.
So Brodeen, center fielder, up, 1 down here in the top of the third. 1-2 is our count with our delivery from Barry, and Brodeen takes that off speed, is going to drop that. Oh no! But George Anderson does a nice job of coming in and making the play.
Yeah, got a stroke on that one. Not really hard amount of contact. And George Anderson, as we talked about in the bottom of the last, with a good amount of speed out there, was able to close on it pretty easily and make that play.
Just off the bat, it looked like that one was going to die in front, 10, 15 feet in front of Anderson. So it kind of caught me off guard a little bit. But we got this canopy too. We can't really see how high it's getting hit. So Recchio, as we said, is only a sophomore, and he's going to be a pain in this South Suburban Conference, I think, for teams for a while.
For a couple more years, for sure.
Absolutely, though. Just a fun kid to watch. Plays the game hard, diving, good bat. Had a triple against Barry the last game that we called.
Yeah, he's got some speed to him too. This is the kid that took a ground ball off his left wrist during the game back down at Lakeville North, and he gutted it out. He stayed in the game and made himself known as the game went on. He got that triple as you noted, and played solidly in the field as well all throughout.
Yep, Recchio falls off that off speed. Recchio in the season hitting .333. As we said, he stole a base in the top of the first, so he's 6 for 6 on stolen bases, and he's also 14 for 42 with 10 runs. And he just kind of has a mixed bag, Blair. 7 hits, 7 singles, 2 doubles, 2 triples, 1 home run, and a partridge in a pear tree as we watch that base hit out to right to Chapman. Gets past Chapman. Recchio digging for second. We're going to see if he's going to turn on the burners for third. He is. And we're going to have the relay to Huseman, and Recchio's going to be in first, safe for a triple. Single, maybe with an RBI by Chapman. And now we're going to bring up the catcher, Wambacher.
The catcher, number 9, Tyler Wambacher.
Yeah, we had a misplay out in right field of that ball. It was a very well hit and off to the left of the fielder, so he had to get over and get to it. But a little bit of a misplay there, and with a guy like Recchio, with the speed that he has and the attitude that he brings to how he runs the bases, you could kind of tell when he was a couple of strides from second that he had a lot of third base on his mind.
Absolutely. Fastball misses outside by Barry. 2 down here, though, so hoping to strand Recchio at third. Wambacher, the number 2 hitter, the catcher, steps in. And Barry wants to just get the ball and pitch. And I think Lakeville North wants to take their time and make them think about it a little bit.
We had a little bit of this cat and mouse game in the last game as well.
Big swing and miss on the off speed. 1-1's our count. You know, the other thing too, Blair, is you know this too, especially playing on you know, wet fields, wet outfield, wet infield for that matter, is, you know, Chapman, it wasn't like he did anything wrong in that play. It's just that you probably have to break down a little bit more. As we see a pass ball, and that's going to bring in Recchio for the first run of the game for Eagan, or excuse me, for Lakeville. So Recchio gets that single to right, the ball gets by Chapman, cruises over to third, then comes in on the pass ball that gets past Steffen. So our score now is 2-1 here in the top of the third. But getting back to that, you know, like they say, you just kind of got to break down. You know, just to try to keep the ball in front, because obviously it's, you know, you don't know if it's going to skip, slide, or bounce up on a wet field.
Yep. And it is high school baseball after all.
Oh, I've seen plenty of Twins make that same play out in the outfield. I think Jake Kay has been known for it sometimes. Hopefully he's not listening. All right, 3-1's our count. 2 down here, top of the first. Or excuse me, top of the third. Fastball misses in, and Wambacher is going to coax a walk, and that's going to bring up Manning.
So we're going to get a courtesy runner for the catcher, and this is going to be
the speedster.
Matt Neha. He's another speedster on this on this roster. This is a guy I think 3 different times in the first game where these two met, and he served as a courtesy runner for Wambacher, and he scored all 3 times.
Yeah, exactly. And what's interesting is, unless these stats aren't fully correct, is that he doesn't have a stolen base on the season. So he's just a speedster that goes you know, base by base, right? Station to station type of thing. That first pitch off-speed misses to Manning. Second pitch fastball in there for a strike. 1-1's our count. 2 down here, top of the third. Eagan leading 2-1 over the traveling Lakeville North Panthers. Panthers came in on a 3-game winning streak. Eagan came in with a 4-game winning streak. Off speed misses low. Neha still staying hold at first. It'll be interesting to see if Coach, you know, Tony Market probably isn't going to steal him here with the number 3 hitter up, right, Blair?
And 2 outs.
Exactly. Yep. Maybe if they're, you know, a little bit lower in the lineup, right, you might maybe see him go.
You know, give your big bats an opportunity to swing and see what they can do here.
Absolutely.
But, you know, again, speed on the base paths is is really important, and you can put pressure on teams and force them to make choices that they wouldn't otherwise make, and to make outright mistakes, and that sort of thing is really helpful when you're battling to get back to even in a game like this.
Barry misses low, so now our count is full on 3-2. So Nia will be running. Eagan will be looking to make their play at first. Manning on the season, 1 double and 1 triple, no homers, 3 RBIs. Fastball swung on, missed. Fouled away. No, I think I'm the same way as you, Blair. I think if I was constructing a team, yes, it's great to have some power. It's great to have guys that, you know, can hit doubles, hit homers. But if you give me a team with speed, I'm going to find ways to get them in scoring position, as opposed to always trying to swing for the big hit. And then all of a sudden, you know, you have those days where you just are cold, and it doesn't really do any good if you can't get a guy past second base.
Exactly. It's a good spot for Barry to check that runner at first base with
Absolutely.
the speed, knowing that he's going to be off on the pitch with 3-2 and 2 outs.
3-2, 2 down, top of the third, 2-1's our score. Change up on the outside corner, and that's going to put away Manning here in the top of the third. But for Lakeville North here in the top of the third, they get 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on, and after 2.5 complete, it's Eagan 2, Lakeville North 1. We'll be back in 60 seconds for the bottom of the third inning. so the leadoff hitter, Alex Lockenmeyer, will be back up here again. He was batting that last inning on that excellent relay from Wambacher down to Recchio to get out the stealing George Anderson. Fastball misses up and in. Calder doing a nice job, though, of kind of settling in after that first inning. He did a good job of also getting out of that inning without it being a big inning.
Right. And now we're going to have everybody coming through for a second time.
Yep.
And we'll see what he changes and what they've seen that they can adjust to and do something with on the Eagan side.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm sure for Calder and as well as the Lakeville staff, they thought that could have got away from him a little bit there early on, right? I mean, Barry had the big double. Before you know it, you have guys on second and third with a 1 out, and he was able to kind of only, minor the damage down to just that 2 runs in the first. So 2-1 is our count. That fastball's in there for a strike as it's low to Lockenmeyer.
Yeah. Calder did actually respond very well to that because after the double by Lincoln Berry, he got the ground ball to third base and then a strikeout looking to get them off the field and back up for the top of the second.
Offering hit to Recchio, big hop. Recchio with the quick relay in time to Manning to retire Lockenmeyer.
The first baseman, number 5, Mason Amon.
So Mason Amon steps in, had a great game on Monday. Had a single in the first, had a big triple in the, I think it was about the 5th or 6th, that we thought might clear it, but it just kind of got stuck up in the wind. Felt bad for the right fielder for Lakeville South. It looked like he was running against the wind. It just, it just kept fading away from him, and then Amon was on the wheels to get over to third for a triple.
Yeah, it looks like our rain is picking up a little bit here as well. It's going to make it a little more challenging.
Yeah, I think we're going to be going through a lot of baseballs today, Blair.
Going through a lot of baseballs. Going to have a lot of guys wearing jackets in between innings. And
yep. Absolutely. So 1-2 now, 2-1 now is our count on that curveball misses by Calder. 2-1 is our score, bottom of the third here at Goat Hill Park. Eagan leading Lakeville North. Lakeville North scored their only run so far here in the top of the third on a base hit to right that got past Chapman, and Recchio ended up on third and scored on a pass ball. That ball is going to be hit out to left to Johnson. He's got a beat on it, and he makes the play for the second out of the inning.
So the number 3 hitter is coming up now. Liam Martin, his last at-bat, got a single and ended up scoring the first run of the game. Sorry, he ended up scoring the second run of the game. Amon got in before he did.
Outfielders are going to catch some droplets today, so as long as they just catch that white ball in between, they'll be fine, right, Blair?
Exactly.
All right, Calder doing a nice job here. And he's actually, as we talked about how Barry had such an efficient first inning, as you mentioned, too, Calder had a great second inning with the 1-2-3 inning, and is actually putting Lockenmeyer and Amon away within about 7-8 pitches. As we see Martin foul straight back on that fastball. So 0-2's the count, 2 outs here in the bottom of the third inning. Shortstop Liam Martin batting.
Martin came into the game hitting .344. He's put together a nice season at the plate so far.
As we see a grounder hit over to Haugen. Haugen's going to field it, an underhand toss over to Manning, the safe play to retire Martin. So for Eagan in the bottom of the third, no runs on no hits, no errors, and nobody left on. Got a quick read here for you from the Minnesota State High School League. The Minnesota State High School League reminds us that the educational value of this event is more important than its outcome. Respect for others, including opponents and officials, is one of those values. Support today's teams with the respect they deserve. We'll be back in 30 seconds for the top of the fourth inning. So Lakeville North is going to send up their 4, 5, 6 hitters here in the top of the 4th. This is going to be Will Arndt, who's playing right field here today. And on the season for Arndt, we're going to find that here in a second. As we see that first offering is a fastball missed and low. He is 8 for 35 with 1 home run and 5 RBIs on the season for Arndt.
And just to look at him standing here, looks like you put a charge in a baseball.
Yeah. Absolutely. Ooh, nice play by Barry right at the shoelaces as he relays it over to Amon for the first out of the inning.
Beautifully done. Got the glove right down on the rubber to snag that ball and made an easy throw to first base.
The second baseman, number 14, Josh Haugen.
We still have the rain coming, and it's coming a little bit harder. We were just kind of discussing when we were off here a second ago. You know, once the game gets going, it belongs to the umpires.
Yep.
The umpires will determine whether or not conditions get so bad that they need to pull the players off the field.
Right.
That is completely and entirely their call, and it's completely and entirely subjective on their part.
Yep. So Haugen, the second baseman, takes that first off speed for a ball, but then swings at the second off speed from Barry for a strike. 1-1's our count here, 1 out in the top of the 4th. Haugen on the season hitting 7 for 34, 3 doubles, and 4 RBIs with another homer as well. Fastball in there for a strike on the outside corner.
It's a nice pitch right there.
Haugen hitting 206. Slugging 353. Gonna mix those in for you, Blair. I know you're a big numbers guy.
I'm a big slugging percentage guy.
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely. 1-2's the count as we see a little check me swing from Martin. Gets over to Martin. Martin to Amon for the second out of the inning, and that's gonna bring up the DH.
Yeah, Alex Bayless will be the next man up for Lakeville North.
10, Alex Bayless.
One of the things that also kind of helps the umpires as they think about what they're going to do with the weather. We are clipping along pretty nicely here already at the top of the 4th inning, so we're making some good progress.
As you see
It's not
Bayless
taking
take
very
that
long.
first offering, that's going to be hit out to Lockemeyer. He's got to beat on it for the quick out. So Barry gets through that inning in about 7 pitches. And for Lakeville North here in the top of the 4th, no runs on no hits and nobody left on. And after 3.5 complete, we have a 2-1 Eagan lead. Be back here in 60 seconds for the bottom of the 4th inning. Alrighty, so the pitcher, Lincoln Berry, the senior, will step in. Had the big RBI double in the first inning. As we mentioned, Lincoln's having a heck of a season. 4 triples, 1 double, and 1 home run with 11 RBIs on the season. I think he got his average too, right?
344 batting average coming into this game, and he's obviously 1 for 1 so far. So that'll inch that up even a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is probably Calder's toughest at bat after Barry was 0-2, and we watch a base hit down the line, just foul. So we're right back to it, 0-2 again, and Calder and Barry had a nice battle because Calder, the pitcher's battle, right?
Right.
Barry, I think, fouled off 2 or 3 pitches before he got that base hit to right field. So Calder, once again, not throwing any balls, but we'll see if he kind of works a little off speed, see if we can get him to chase on maybe an outside curveball or slider, see if he can catch Barry maybe with something he hasn't seen that first time around. Fastball's up.
As a hitter, Barry did exactly what you want to. You get in the hole a little bit, and you just kind of get rid of balls that you don't want to really take an offering at. Just kind of waste a couple of pitches until you get something that looks more to your liking, and then get after it.
Calder to Wambacher is low on dirt, so 2-2's a count. Bottom of 4 here at Goat Hill Park. Eagan leading 2-1. Eagan on a 4-game winning streak. Lakeville North on a 3-game winning streak. Both teams added in a non-conference win along that way as we watch Barry swing and miss on that fastball in the outside corner.
The right fielder, number 27, Sam Shackman.
So the number 5 hitter, Shockman, is up now. He had an RBI in the first inning, even though he grounded out 5-4. But he got the job done.
Yeah, brought in Barry. Mm-hmm. And that was his 9th RBI in the season as he takes a fastball, swings and misses. He's sitting at 6 for 30 on the season. 1 double, and now he does have 9 RBIs. Mm-hmm. So Calder's still in the mound as the starter today. Fastball's up. 1-1's our count.
If there's anything that Calder's had a little trouble with today, it's been keeping the ball down. If he's throwing pitches that are called balls, most often they've been up.
Yep. There's a curveball in there for a strike, so listening
nice
to Blair. He knows that the off speed is the one he wants to use today. 1-2 is our count here. 1 out has struck out Barry, the pitcher-pitcher matchup. That time Calder won that battle against Barry. Chapman here sitting on 1-2, and the fastball's low and out. What's Chapman hitting on the year for us?
200.
Okay, 200. 9 RBIs, plays a solid right field. The nice thing for Eagan is they've kind of been able to keep their outfield the whole season. Watch a curveball just miss low. That's such an important thing, right? I mean, if you can keep your outfield or keep your infield, I mean, if you don't have a whole lot of changes, more continuity, the outfield can work well together, calling each other off. It's not somebody new every day. Fastball again, strike 3, and that's the second strikeout of the inning for Calder. And that'll bring up Mr. Ryder.
It's always an advantage if you've got a team that doesn't have to change a lot of personnel, doesn't have to move guys to unnatural or unfamiliar positions. Obviously, you want to keep guys healthy. You want to make sure that they're continuing to play well.
Ryder hits a ground ball to Haugen. Haugen relays it over to Manning for the 3rd out of the inning. So for Eagan in the bottom of the 4th, no runs on no hits, nobody left on, and after 4 complete, we have a 2-1 Eagan lead. We'll be back 60 seconds for the top of the 5th inning here at Goat Hill Park. All right, third baseman Garrett Long will step into the box here, and we're in the top of the 5th. Eagan leading 2-1 here on a, I don't know, it's a day. I don't know if it's a lovely day, but it's a day. Garrett Long, though, steps in. Lincoln Berry, the starter, still out here on the mound as he misses on a curveball.
Not a great day for Wildcats or Panthers. Waterfowl maybe, but
there you go.
It.
Oh yeah, get the hunting news out to people. Let us know where the honey holes are as we see Long hit one out to Lockemeyer left. He has a beat on it, makes the play.
Yeah, we were discussing, and we've said it before, the pitchers on both sides are being very, very efficient here. On a day like today, that's really important. The rain has tapered off a little bit from when we were last discussing it, but both Berry and Calder have been really efficient in how they've approached the game. They're getting their pitches in the strike zone, and guys are swinging at things, not getting much success. As you can tell from the score, 2-1 here in the top of 5. But both pitchers are really coming at it and really doing a nice job.
Absolutely. Berry, as we said, came in. He's 3-0 in the season. This is his 4th start with a 3.585 ERA with 14 strikeouts coming in today. He's probably added on another 2 or 3, or probably another 3 or 4 on today. As Blair will take a look here.
He's added
Nolan
2
Johnson,
so far.
2 so far. Okay, Nolan Johnson, left fielder, is batting. It's a 1-2 count here, 1 out. It swings and misses, but gets past Steffen, and that's going to give Johnson first base. So too good of a curveball, and that's going to give him to first base, and that's going to bring up the center fielder.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. That was a breaking ball that was down in the dirt. One that our catcher couldn't handle, and so the strikeout does get recorded, but now we've got a runner on first base and 1 out for the number 9 hitter.
And a lot of times coaches are going to tell you, pitching coaches are going to tell you, especially a 1-2 count, 0-2 count, if you're going to throw a curveball to bury it in the dirt. He does bury it in the dirt as we watch that fastball in the inside corner. But, wet day, spinny day, muddy behind the plate, and that one just, Steffen does a nice job of keeping the ball in front, but that one just kind of squeezed by him and allowed Johnson to travel down to first. So Nolan Johnson on first, 1 out here as we watch the ground balls hit over to Ryder. Ryder flips it to Martin. Martin's relay to Amon, not in time to get Brodeen, and that's going to bring up the top of the order, which is going to be, and we're going to see if that runner actually rounded the base, and they're going to say no. All right.
So on the fielder's choice, we substitute one runner at first for another, but Eagan records the out, and so we got 2 outs now for the top of the order coming up here. There's that man Recchio again.
Yeah, and if you're Coach Butler and the Eagan squad, you're just happy to see that nobody's in scoring position at that time, right? That's why that was so huge by Ryder. Nice job of just not rushing it, right? Get that lead runner, get it over to Liam. Arndt's their center fielder, so Brodeen's their center fielder, so he knew he had speed. So it was gonna be tough on a slow roller like that to turn 2.
Right.
Now you got Recchio up though, so it'll be interesting to see if they send Brodeen in motion. I'm gonna try to get his stats here on stealing on the day. Recchio with that single that turned into a triple and then scored on the pass ball for the only run today.
Yeah, he is 2 for 2. He's got 2 singles on the day. I'm sure he'd like to, continue that trend and make it 3 for 3. We got Berry checking the runner at first base a couple of times here. There is some checking going on with the third base coach. We'll see if they got something that they're going to put on.
Changeup misses high. 1-0's our count here. 2 down, top of the 5th. 2-1 is our score with Eagan leading. Recchio, as we said before, 14 for 42. A little bit of everything in a mixed bag of 2 doubles, 2 triples, a home run, and 4 RBIs from that leadoff spot. There's the throw over, and that's gets by him, and actually Brodeen thought about it, but I think at the same time that ball probably nailed Brodeen in the hamstring and probably wasn't ready to take off on that one.
That ball did actually hit the runner,
yeah.
And it got away far enough where he probably could have gotten down to second base if he felt like he wanted to move at that point.
I will say the one smart thing, whether he was thinking it or not, is the way that ball trickled. It would have been Amon would have had a great angle to throw. I mean, it's not like you're throwing over a runner, right? So that would have been the one thing where maybe he would have the clear shot to Martin at second. So 1-0's our count, 2 down, fastball swung on, popped up. Huseman's got a bead on it. and he makes the catch in foul territory. So for Lakeville North in the top of the 5th, no runs on no hits, 1 left on with no, well, that error, I guess you could say, by the catcher, Stefan, on that strike 3. And we have a 2-1 score, and we're also going to bring you some more ads today.
Everybody likes ads.
Absolutely. So 2-1 is our score here at Goat Hill Park. So as we were talking about, if you do need some work and you need a little summer action, you can find a fun summer job at Eagan's Cascade Bay because they're hiring. Serve your community and make friends. Earn some money and help create summer fun for everyone. Lifeguards, pool attendants, guest attendants, and ground attendants are some of the positions that are open. For more information on how to apply, you just need to dive on into the website at cascadebay.com. And I still want to be that mascot.
All you need to do, Casey, is look at the smiles on those people's faces.
I think I have to go to Cascade Bay this summer. I think it just has to happen.
You need a job where you can end up looking like that all the time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we also want to remind you that if you're enjoying Eagan ETV, make sure to follow them on Twitter, Facebook, and subscribe on YouTube. Visit Eagan-TV.com. And once again, we'd like to thank the crew today, again, the camera crew, the men in the truck, for bearing the conditions and putting together another lovely broadcast here at Goat Hill Park.
No, it's an all-volunteer group. People don't necessarily know that, and you certainly wouldn't know it from the kind of pictures that we get from these guys on the cameras and the folks in the truck. They do a really, really nice job.
Absolutely. Absolutely, and we enjoy doing it too. They're kind enough to let us, brave the microphone, right? So Calder once again has been our starting pitcher here today, and I'm actually he's throwing a heck of a game here. It's been solid. So Calder, as I said before, this is his 4th start of the season. He's 2-1 coming into today, 17 innings pitched with a 3.29 ERA. 21 strikeouts as he swings first pitch fastball, gets past Stefan. 21 strikeouts, only 4 walks. So an excellent whip, if you want to say, of strikeouts compared to walks.
That's the ratio you want, isn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely, with a 3.29 ERA. There's a base hit by Stefan as he sticks his bat on an outside fastball and flips it out to Johnson in left field. That's going to bring up the third baseman.
The third baseman, number 11, Will Hughesman.
I was just looking at Calder's stats here, and he has, after that at bat, only given up 3 hits, believe it or not. Couple of bases on balls, and he has recorded looks like 4 strikeouts so far in this game. That is not a bad line so far for this young man.
No, absolutely, especially after he minimized the damage that could have been a lot uglier. Throw over right away to Fall. Fall is their primary pinch runner or courtesy runner, if you want to say. I'm not going to say that these stats are incorrect because Coach Butler would get mad at me, but I only see 1 stolen base in the season, and then we watch him take off. There it is.
Look at that.
So
Beautiful.
He takes off. Hughesman hits it into the big hole, and Fall's going to stand up at third, and we have an overthrow that's going to get past Manning. Fall's coming home, and he's going to be safe. So a lot of action right there, Blair. So the steal opens up the big gap for Hughesman,
who puts the ball beautifully into right field through that big hole. The right fielder elected to throw the ball to first base, tried to go behind Hughesman there to see if they could catch him rounding first.
Yep.
And that throw was over the first baseman's head, got loose in foul territory, and allowed Fall to come all the way around to score.
Absolutely. So 3-1 now is our score. And now we watch a nice bunt placed down by Anderson, and the relay from Calder to Manning is in time, but in doing so, Hughesman then goes over to third with only 1 out.
The left fielder, number 8, Alex Lockenmeyer.
So Anderson does his job by getting the bunt down, and the other thing too is he moved him just enough that Calder's only play was the first by relaying it over to Manning. So Hughesman now on third with the top of the order back up. Lockenmeyer swings and misses on that off speed from Calder. 3-1's our score here, bottom of the 5th at Goat Hill Park.
We were
in Lakeville North.
We were just talking about how well Calder has done, and now we've got 2 2 singles and a couple of bad luck plays in the field and a sacrifice bunt, and suddenly he's down another run, and he's got another runner sitting on third base with only 1 out.
Yep. Yeah, no, the tough play there it's an aggressive play, right? An aggressive play from right field to try to backdoor the guy when you already have a guy sitting on third. That's kind of the tough play. There's a nice play by Wambacher of keeping it in front. We got a deep backstop here at Goat Hill Park, which you can probably see on your TV screen. So anything gets it past the catcher. We're seeing people scoring from third. I haven't seen a close play yet this season. On a pass ball with a guy on third. Huseman on third after that base hit that brought Parker Fall from first on a hit and run all the way to third, and then that overthrow is what brought him over. Lockenmeyer hits one to right, and it's going to be caught by Arndt. Arndt's going to relay it home. He's got a strong arm. There's the relay home, but not in time from Manning to Wambacher. So Huseman will score for the 4th run as Lockenmeyer gets his, 9th RBI on the season.
First baseman, number 5, Mason Amon.
So timely hitting is kind of the key to today's game, I guess, for Eagan, right? They put up 2 in the first, and then now 2 in the bottom of the 5th. And, just kind of a variety of different ways, right? A hit and run that put Fall, the courtesy runner, all the way over to third. He came in on that overthrow. And then in doing so, you bunt over Huseman. And in that overthrow, that's the tricky thing, right? You take away the force.
Right.
Now Huseman's on second with nobody out. You bunt him over to third, and all you need is a fly ball to get him in.
Which is exactly what they got. Timely hitting, smart hitting on the hit and run, doing your job, getting the sacrifice down.
Laced up the middle by Mason Amon. So Amon now 3 hits in his last 2 games as he's heating up in that second spot.
The shortstop, number 16, Liam Martin.
I haven't noticed that there's been anybody up in that Lakeville North pen. We can't really see down the right field line.
Yeah, we don't have a real good...
Lakeville South actually was using the Eagan bullpen on Monday. So I thought, well, why not? I guess the guys can maybe see what his curveball is doing. As Amon takes off in the first pitch, relay by Wambacher is going to be not in time. Ooh, wow. Looked like the throw beat him, but the second baseman was behind the bag, and in doing so wasn't able to get that tag in on time as Amon goes about 6'2", 6'3", so he's got that long reach.
I tell you what, that throw looked, frankly, like a little bit better throw than the one that got George Anderson down there in the second.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I'm waiting to see our count here as Martin fouls one off.
Should be 0-2 now.
I believe it's 0-2. I think the scoreboard just missed one. So we got 2 down. Amon on second after his base hit up the middle. Takes second base on the steal. For Amon, that is... Oh, I'm looking for it. See if we can find how many stolen bases Amon has in the season. As we said, Liam Martin hitting in the upper 300 on the season as well. Amon now with 4 stolen bases.
That one's going to be out of play. See if we can find a...
Oh, this is a graveyard of baseballs.
Find an intrepid soul to go down that embankment.
Graveyard of baseballs. Put a ballpark on a hill next to the woods. You're going to wonder what happens. Alrighty, so Amon on second as Recchio's playing with him a little bit. Calder's pitch to Wambacher's low. And now Martin's worked the count to 2-2. Amon with the single up the middle. Like I said, 3 hits in his last 2 games, and actually was his 3rd stolen base on the season as well.
Yeah, Wambacher's out to have a quick chat with his pitcher. Not quite sure what he's got on his mind at this point with the count where it is, but it's also giving our base runner a chance to come over and chat with his coach, see that he's exactly where that his head is exactly where he wants him to be.
Martin 6 RBIs on the season, 2 doubles, and 11 for 32. Take a little look from Calder to Recchio.
And maybe that's what everybody was talking about.
Yeah, very well. Very well could have been. Well, they didn't try the hidden ball trick, Blair. I haven't seen that one yet this season. I'm waiting for it. Fastball on the outside corner, and that's going to put Martin away as he looks at strike 3. So after the bottom of the 5th for Eagan, they get 2 runs on 2 hits, 1 error, and 1 left on, and after 5 complete, it's Eagan 4, Lakeville North 1. We'll be back in 60 seconds for the top of the 6th inning. Alrighty, so Lincoln Berry, starter here today, the senior, still on the mound here in the top of the 6th, and now we're going to put a little shift on Tyler Wambacher, the catcher, and they're going to move Ryder over to the left side of second base. Change up on the outside corner for a strike by Berry. Berry just getting stronger and stronger as the game goes on. I think he's had at least 3 innings of 10 pitches or left, maybe 4. And he has an 0-1 count early on, and that fastball misses low.
And he's now staked to a 3-run lead, which has got to help his confidence and make him feel a little bit better as well, so he can be a little more direct even than he has been in those really short, efficient innings that he's been throwing.
You can let it go a little bit. Now, you do have the damage of the lineup coming up, right? 2, 3, 4. So obviously they got past Recchio, who's kind of their fire starter, if you want to say so, at the top of the lineup. But Wambacher, obviously a big kid with some pop as well in his bat. So 1-2's our count here, top of the 6th. Wambacher takes a swing and a miss. Steffen's going to miss that tag, but is going to step aside, throw it over to Amon for the first out of the inning.
A really nice breaking ball that Berry threw there to coax the swing out of Wambacher for strike 3. Manning has struck out twice, once looking and once swinging so far this game. I think he'd like to do something a little more productive with this at-bat.
Yeah, and looking actually at their lineup, Wambacher leads the team in RBIs with 8, Garrett Long with 7 on the season. Big swing. That's going to be popped up. Looks like Liam Martin's going to call him off, and he gets the second out of the inning.
Number 4 hitter coming up, Will Arndt. He's the right fielder.
What's Arndt been doing here today?
Well, Arndt flied out to right field, and he was the batter on that play that Lincoln Berry made on the mound, where he picked it right off of the rubber to throw it to first base.
So there's a first pitch line out to Liam Martin at short for Arndt, and for Lakeville North in the top of the 6th. No runs on no hits, no errors, and nobody left on. After 5.5 complete, Eagan 4, Lakeville North 1. We'll be back in 60 seconds for the bottom of the 6th inning. Alrighty, so for Lakeville North here in the bottom of the 6th, they have a new pitcher, which is Caleb Hurd Jr. 4 games pitched coming in today. 1-0 is his record. 10 2/3 inning. Pencil thin 1.97 ERA. 6 Ks to 2 walks. Off-speed pitch swung on first right away by Hurd. by Lincoln Berry, and that's going to be caught by Long. So 1 pitch, 1 out for Hurd as he comes in and does his job early on.
Nothing like coming into a game where you're behind by 3 runs and you get to see 4, 5, and 6 right off the bat. But he, as you just pointed out with the stats, he's done a nice job so far this year. You know, pitching has been kind of the problematic part for the Panthers this year. Their team ERA coming into the game was 4.28. Compare that with Eagan, where the team ERA is 1.5. Both teams hit really well, but one has obviously got a little bit better pitching than the other.
First pitch hit on by Chapman, and a quick relay by Recchio, not handled by Manning, and Chapman's going to cruise into second. So I don't know what was missed there. It wasn't a high throw by Recchio. It was a one hopper to him. They had plenty of time to get that relay over.
I think you have to look at the first baseman mishandling that as the problem on that play.
Waiting to see what Coach Butler has planned. I don't know if it's going to be a pinch runner or a pinch hitter. And we're just waiting to see what the actual play is going to be. It looks like he's going to do a pinch runner.
Pinch running for the Wildcats, number 6, Parker Fall.
So once again, Parker Fall is going to find himself on base, and he's going to see if he can be 2 for 2 by scoring here for the second time today. So now he's going to be entered into the game because he's not coming in as a courtesy. So
right.
Essentially, this is going to be his last hurrah per se. And then we're going to have the second baseman, number 15, Griffin Ryder, is going to be one. Maybe not. That's why I was kind of waiting before I announce anything here, because I'm waiting to see if they're going to let Ryder hit or if it's going to be someone else. Looks like it's going to be Ryder. Okay.
Second baseman, number 15, Griffin Ryder.
So Ryder playing second today. He, when I mentioned earlier that Huseman kind of took over third, Ryder was also playing some third too. So Ryder obviously has some flexibility between second and third. They like to keep Martin at short, and then obviously if Martin is pitching, then Lincoln Berry then slides into shortstop. First pitch was a off speed by Hurd, swung on a miss by Ryder. 1 down here. Pinch runner Parker Fall on second. A little injury here to Wambacher. Looks like a little finger injury. Might just need some tape. Don't want to get blood on the ball, Blair.
Yeah, anytime you've got visible blood, you're going to have an official or an umpire, a referee, whatever, stop play to get that covered up and taken care of. And I think you're right. He kind of came off holding his throwing hand out a little bit.
Got the feed here for us, Blair.
And they're patching him up as we speak, and we're getting a good look at it.
So we got Parker Fall pinch running for Chapman, who reached second on that. I don't know if it was necessarily an overthrow, just a ball that kind of got away from Manning on the relay from Recchio. So that put Chapman at second. Parker Fall pinch running for him. Second baseman Griffin Ryder is up at the plate with an 0-1 count, and Wambacher looks like he's back ready to go.
We've got him all put back together.
Yeah, exactly. Hurd, as we said, has the best ERA on the team, 1.97, followed by today's right fielder, which is Will Arndt. He's got a 2 ERA. So those two guys are under kind of that team average, as we talked about. They also have Calder, who is a 3.29, but then everybody else is kind of above that average of that 4.5. Fastball low in the dirt. Nice job by Wambacher.
It's a good thing they got him put back together. He needed every inch of what he's got to get down in front of that ball.
Keep saying put back together. I keep thinking of Wizard of Oz for some reason. So Ryder's up, 1-1's our count, 1 out here. Bottom of the 6th, 4-1 is the Eagan lead. There's a big swing on the off speed by Ryder. As we mentioned, Lakeville North came in with a 3-game winning streak, and that included wins over Shakopee on Thursday, 5-4, a non-conference win over Chaska, 8-3 on Saturday, and then a nail-biter, 10-9, beating Rosemount on Monday. Fastball misses low. Eagan came in, as Blair and I already mentioned a few times, but Eagan came in on a 4-game winning streak, beating Farmington, Burnsville, non-conference Bloomington Jefferson, and then Lakeville South 3-2 on Monday. Hurd, 2-2 count, 1 out here. Fall on second, fouled off by Ryder. And then we do have a little action in the bullpen, and that's going to be Mr. Danich, I believe. over there. Yep, Ryan Danich getting loose. So Danich, as maybe you've seen too, Blair, over the years, I know they kind of had him a little bit of a closer role even 2 years ago, and that's kind of what he's been doing. So that one skips off of the old knee pads. Fall takes a big round on third. So Ryder do a nice job here on this at bat, working the count back to 3-2 here at 1 out, and now Parker Fall is sitting on third base, trying to be 2 for 2 once he gets on the bases and coming around to score.
Well, you know, in a situation like this, the old adage is you want to get the runner in or over. Now your option is just to get him in. Makes it a little bit easier when he's not at second base but over at third.
Lakeville North playing with their infield in. Got to keep the score here at 4-1, and high fastball by Hurd puts away Ryder.
The catcher, number 7, Charlie Steffen.
So now it's going to be up to Charlie Steffen to try to get that extra insurance run that's sitting on third base across the plate.
As we said, Steffen, Charlie has one of the 2 Eagan home runs on the season. What's he batting for the season? You got that up.
He's a 233 batter coming into the game. He is 1 for 2 today. Looks like he popped up to the first baseman and then singled and scored.
Okay, so he's got that 1 home run, 1 double, 5 RBIs on the season. Does an excellent job behind the plate with the staff. As he pops one back, Wambacher's got some room and makes the catch, the routine catch by Wambacher. So for Eagan here in the bottom of the 6th, no runs on no hits. 1 left on, and there was that 1 error. And so after 6 complete, it's Eagan 4 and Lakeville North 1. Couple ads to fill in here before the top of the 7th, and we'll see if they do bring in Danich. He might just be getting a bullpen too, so we'll wait and see. They might be running Barry out there. We don't know what his pitching count is, but we're going to start with Cascade Bay one more time. If you need a fun summer job, Eagan's Cascade Bay is hiring. Serve your community, make friends, earn some money, and help create summer fun for everyone. Look at those smiles, everybody. Lifeguards, pool attendants, guest attendants, ground attendants are some of the positions that are open. For more information on how to apply, you just simply swan dive into that website at cascadebay.com. And then also, lastly, once again, we want to thank the crew, the camera, and those in the truck. But if you're enjoying ETV, make sure to follow them on Twitter, Facebook, and subscribe on YouTube. It's simple. All you have to do is visit eagan-tv.com. So it does look like Barry's coming out here for the 7th, so Danich more than likely to just get loose. Actually, Danich is going to second, so he's going to replace Ryder. And we're going to just stay with you here in between innings because we're just happy that so far we made it to this point, right, Blair?
Yep.
The rain stopped. We don't see sun on the horizon, but Barry's going to stay out here for the 7th, going to go for a complete game. Hughesman's staying at third, so it looks like they're just bringing Danich to get him some work, maybe at second base here. He's another second baseman that they use from time to time, but also, as we said, he can be a closer. So that's probably, that makes sense what Coach Butler's doing. Get him loose in the pen, put him out at second, get his blood flowing a little bit. If needed, you bring him in, and then you just slide Barry over to second base. So simple stuff, right?
That's a lot of good foresight and a lot of good forward thinking on the part of the coach. Barry is continuing to throw a strong game, so you give him the chance to go ahead and finish it up. But having somebody who's ready to go right behind him is a really, really smart play on his part.
So as we said, really the only position change today, besides Hurd coming in for Calder, is Danich coming in second. So starters have played the whole game on both sides. I'm going to try to see if we don't want to jinx Barry, but I'd like to see if he's had a complete game or 2 yet this season. And I know he didn't finish the game against Lakeville North, that game that we saw.
Right.
I think he went 6 that day. But Barry, I just don't have that on my stat sheet, as we see at off speed go for a strike. I must have been cut off when I was snipping it at the library.
Who put this stuff together anyway?
Yeah, well, it's there. It's there, Blair. I didn't know that we were going to need it today. So 0-2's our count, and he strikes out Haugen on that fastball low.
Struck him out on 3 pitches. Really, really nicely done.
The DH, number 10, Alex Bayless.
Bayless comes in as one of their leading hitters. He's hitting 320 for the season coming in. He's 0 for 2 today with a couple of flyouts. But other than Recchio and Garrett Long, who's coming up behind him, he's got the highest batting average on the team.
Okay.
That's what a DH is supposed to do, right?
Absolutely. Bayless with 4 RBIs in the season, a double, and 1 homer as well. So, looking at, I guess, so Lakeville North has 4 home runs to Eagan's 2. It's been one thing that's been interesting. I don't necessarily know if the 1-2s are counted as he swings at the off speed. One thing though I've noticed, I don't know if it seems that the ball travels well here at Godale Park. With the tree line though, I don't think the wind's able to push it out too much. Since we've only seen 1 home run here, and that was that Farmington game, as Bayless goes down swinging.
Third baseman number 21, Garrett Long.
So I was just counting up 7 strikeouts now for Lincoln Berry after those 2.
Absolutely. 4-1's our score here, bottom of the 7th. 2 down, Berry trying to go to the distance for the complete game. Fastball in there for a strike low and just keeps pounding the zone below the knees. Can't even notice a difference at all in his speed. It seems as he's getting stronger as the game's going on. And Berry's just doing a nice job here of keeping the hitters kind of at bay.
Yeah, still coming with a good mix of pitches. He's really been very effective all day long, coming inside, out, up, down, fast, breaking balls, getting it done.
Slow roller here to Amon. Amon's going to do a little glove flip to Berry for the 3rd out. I think the coaches would say, please use your hand on that one. But real quick recap for Lakeville North in the top of the 7th. No runs on no hits, no errors, and nobody left on. Eagan scores twice in the bottom of the 1st. Lakeville comes back with a run in, I believe, the 4th, and then Eagan in the 3rd, and then Eagan gets 2 more in the bottom of the 5th, right?
Yes.
Yep, bottom of the 5th. So Eagan, 5th straight win. Lakeville North loses for the first time in 4. Eagan moves on to 9-2 in the conference, while Lakeville North drops to 5-6 in the conference. Lovely day, we made it through. And for my main man, Blair Bremley, thank you for joining again today. I appreciate it. I'm Casey Lux. Thanks again to all that were able to help out, especially with the Eagan crew and the Eagan TV crew, the camera crew, and everybody in the truck. Have a wonderful day, and bring us some sun tomorrow. Thank you.